Last week, we told you about the proposed construction of Alligator Alcatraz. It's a massive detention center to be built on an airfield in the middle of Florida's Everglades. Well, now, despite the protests of environmentalists, sportsmen, and immigration activists, that detention center looks like it's about ready to be open. So CBS News correspondent Shanelle Kaul has been following this story. So Shanelle, let's talk about the project. Where is it going? How is it developing so far?
Well, Jules, the big piece of news today is we've now learned that site is expected to be operational tomorrow. That is when the President Donald Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem are planning to tour it. This detention facility will have up to 5,000 beds, essentially to house, to process, to deport people who the government says are living here in this country illegally. DeSantis calling this an effective way to increase the number of removals and deportations of unauthorized immigrants, Jules. This facility, I should note, is being built on a mostly unused airstrip. You can see in our images here, this in the Florida Everglades. This is land that is 97%, Jules, wetlands, and it's also one of the last remaining dark sky zones in the state. And that's part of the reason this plan, as you mentioned, is drawing pushback. Hundreds of demonstrators have spent the last several days peacefully protesting this move. They were seen standing outside the now closed jetport gates. And these protesters, I should mention, they include immigration activists, environmentalists, and conservative Gladesmen, so a really diverse group. And it's worth noting just how racially and political diverse group this is. That group is now sort of united in this fight, Jules. So here's part of my conversation with a man named Mike Effelbein, a conservative Gladesman who grew up fishing and hunting in the Florida Everglades.
Some are environmentalists and some are preservationists and some are conservationists, and you have tribal interests. And despite all of our differences in life, the one thing that we can agree on is protecting this place and ensuring that we continue to maintain its ecological integrity and ensure that the water resources that this place lends itself to, that provides drinking water for 9 million people, remains safe from any harm, intentional or unintentional. And I'm sure that both Governor DeSantis and President Trump have all the best intentions in mind in moving this plan forward.
And Elfenbein also talked to me about the dangers that he thinks people held in that facility may face as we're now entering the rainy season. So we're looking at things like lightning, torrential downpours, and the potential for tropical storms and hurricanes. And in his assessment, this facility is just not equipped to handle that. Now, in terms of next steps, Republican lawmakers, well, they seem to be moving full steam ahead. Although I will say that last week, environmental groups had filed a lawsuit to block the opening of this facility until it undergoes an environmental review, which, by the way, is required by federal law. This isn't, though, Jules, the first time that these groups have sort of joined forces to protest development on this land. They actually fought a similar fight back in the late 60s and early 70s, and they won when a plan to build the world's largest airport, the Everglades Jetport in Florida, was ultimately canceled due to significant environmental concerns.
Interesting perspective, and we'll continue to follow this, Shanelle. Thank you so much.